Hello everybody, welcome back to another beginner scripting series episode. Hope you're doing well. Sorry it's been a few weeks since I posted, but I am back now and we're going to be starting, I believe, part 9 to this series. Today we're talking about FindFirstChild and WaitForChild. Let's go ahead and start. So, first off, what are these two terms? FindFirstChild and WaitForChild. These two functions, per se, are ways of finding children inside of a parent. So let me just explain real quick. If I were to insert two parts, so now I've got two parts right here. I'm going to name this one child, and I'm going to name this one parent, and I'm going to drag a child into parent. Obviously, we can see that the child part is a child of the parent because it is inside the parent, but scripts don't just know that all of a sudden. We could just say game.workspace.parent.child, and that would work, but sometimes the script doesn't, sometimes we don't know if something is going to be a child, and that's where FindFirstChild and WaitForChild comes in. I'm going to expound on that now, so let's go ahead and delete these parts, create a new script in script service, and I'll just call it, children events. With FindFirstChild and WaitForChild, you can set these as variables, or you can use FindFirstChild for if statements or variables. There are other ways you can use them too, but I'm going to be using them for those two. So let's store the base plate inside of a variable using FindFirstChild. So let's say local base plate. So now we have a variable equals to game.workspace : and then this is how you do it: FindFirstChild, capital F, capital C for FindFirstChild. And then you do parentheses and quotation marks. So you do parentheses, quotation marks, and then whatever child you are looking for. In this case, it is the base plate, because the base plate is a child of the workspace. So we can find that child and store it in a variable. And let's just change one of the properties, because you can do the same exact thing as if you were just say game.workspace.baseplate. So we can say baseplate.brickcolor equals brickcolor.random. Right, we learned about that. So if we were to hit run, you can see that it's given the base plate a random color, and that's really cool, but there's so much more we can do with FindFirstChild. So, for example, let's just say we wanted to create a lava brick, okay? So let's go ahead and insert a part, and let's color it red, put it over here, and I'm going to go ahead and scale it up. Okay, now I'm going to name this lava, and anchor it. Okay, so just so I can show you, I'm going to head into plugins, and you should have this plugin by default. It's called Rig Builder, and you can click Block Rig, and what this will do is it will create an avatar for you. So you can see we have this dummy right here. And inside of all characters and all players, there is this object called a humanoid. And this humanoid does so much for the player. So you can see we have what it should display here. We can have them sit, and we can have them jump, and we can have them do all sorts of stuff. But something I want to show you here is this thing called health right here. And if we change this, you can see I just changed it to 4, so it's 4 out of 100. So you can see the meter is right here at 4 out of 100, and we can change the health of a player. We can do this through script, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So let's go ahead and get rid of this dummy. That was just to show you what we're doing. And inside of the lava, let's go ahead and insert a script. Next, we can say script.parent.touched : connect function hit. So we learned about this in the functions. Touched is an event. So whenever this part, script.parent, so the lava, whenever it is touched, then we are going to do what's inside of here, and we have this built-in parameter called hit, which is whatever touched the part. So now we have this variable called hit, and that is whatever just touched the part. Now, I'm going to put the dummy back for a second. I probably shouldn't have deleted it yet, but if you put it back, as you can see, we have different body parts in here, and if the player was to just run into the lava like this, it wouldn't be the model that's touching the lava. It would be this part right here, like this right foot is touching the lava. So it's not the model, which means you can't find the humanoid straight from whatever touched it. You can't say hit.humanoid, because humanoid is not a child of this right foot. It instead is a child of its parent. It's a child of the model, and the right foot is inside of the model. So what we can do is we can say if hit.parent, so if the hit's parent, so if it's any body part, then we are saying if the character, right, the hit.parent, whatever just hit it, whatever it is inside of. So in this case, it would be the dummy. If hit.parent : FindFirstChild humanoid, then, so what this is doing is it's just simply saying if we find the object humanoid, or if we find something with the name humanoid inside of the hit.parent, then we can say hit.parent.humanoid.health equals to 0. So I'm going to delete this dummy now. It may seem like a lot, but don't worry, I will go over that in more detail in a minute. Oh, I forgot about our little NPC over here. Okay, so we can run up here to our lava part, and when we touch it, we die, because we have set our health to 0 whenever something that has a humanoid in it touches it. So you may be wondering, why do we even have this if statement? So I'm just going to comment this out. I believe we talked about that, but if you do dash dash, the script just ignores it. So I'm going to comment out the if statement and the end. That's important, because if you don't comment out this end, then it's just going to be kind of confused, because there's one too many ends, because it belongs to the if statement. So if we just were to say this, then, and we hit play, we're going to have some errors. So for example, let's just go ahead and push these parts into the kill brick. And now it's touching it. As you can see, if we scroll down in the output, we have humanoid is not a valid member of accessory. So, whoops, that's actually my desk. But if we scroll up, humanoid is not a valid member of workspace. It would still work if we touch it, right? But we don't want any errors. The script is confused because anything that touches it, there is no if statement to check if there is a humanoid. We're just assuming at that point that there is a humanoid. That's why we need to check to make sure there's a humanoid, so that we don't get a ton of errors like this. I hope that made sense. We can also use WaitForChild, and that is basically the same exact thing, but it just waits to make sure that it is loaded in. So we can say local lava equals workspace : WaitForChild lava, like this. And all that's going to be doing is it's going to do exactly what FindFirstChild would do, but it's just going to make sure that it waits and waits. I think it waits about like 5-10 seconds, something like that max, and it'll wait and wait until either it finds what we're referencing, or until it can't find it. It'll just say like infinite yield possible. It cannot find it. So basically, WaitForChild just gives it a little bit of time to load in. So those are the basics. My studio kind of crashed right now. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but those are the basics of FindFirstChild and WaitForChild. There's so much more you can do with it, but I wanted to give you a quick and easy example for that. And we are going to be using this when we get into our final episode, when we create a game, because we're going to check to see if there is certain, we can say like if player.backpack : FindFirstChild sword. So if the player has a sword, then we don't want to give us, you can do stuff like that. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with this, but there's a quick and easy example. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know this was sort of a shorter one, but I believe I will be back next week with positions, which is going to be really fun. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, so that you don't miss out on that. Thanks again to my first Patreon, who is up on the screen right now. If you want to be able to download all the project files from my newest videos, make sure to become a Patreon today, and that also includes shoutouts. Also, make sure to join my Discord server, link in the description, and I will see you guys next time.